Alright, we'll make a video of what you need to have, or if you want to start um, working on watches. Let me run through a few things that I have that I started with, and some things that I accumulated um, because I enjoy doing this. Like I said, I'm a mechanic outside of this, and I just enjoy working on watches. Uh, it's great. Okay, so it's my Hamilton carrying watch right now. It's Hamilton Railroad Special. It's GMT's 10 karat 10 karat gold case, and I currently carry this one with me as an everyday. I just go through my collection. I'll pick one. All right. First thing we're gonna start off with is a cushion. This is a cheap, small one. It's good to get a larger one. This one's okay. Not the best quality. Not the best for working on pocket watches. Pocket watches are kind of larger, and this is kind of small. Doesn't quite do a good job. Got a movement holder. This is a Myers. It's pretty fancy. And it's got the quick release on it. And if you look inside, you can see the indentation in there, and that's so when you put your movement in there, dial side up or down, it gets in them grooves and it just doesn't go anywhere. Push the button and slides right back in, or you can screw it, doesn't matter. But this is great. This is one of my favorite movement holders. It's a Myers 57, I believe. Oh, something like that. 58. They're kind of pricey. But I paid about $100 for this. There's plenty of movement holders out there. You don't have to find something like this, but this is great. This really, really, really saves me. Next is a good set of tweezers, and let me show you. This is what I first got. And you can see, just look at the gap. And when I squeeze together, you see how they come apart. This made picking up my pieces very difficult. When I was trying to pick up my movements or parts, they kept dropping. And I was like, well, what's going on, And finally I got good tweezers. These are non-magnetic. I guess it's upside down. Non-magnetic. And these were great. They don't do that. See how tight that is? These are terrific. You can pick up just about anything with these. Work really well. If I was to do that with these right here, it's not much control. See that? See how it's got that gap right there. There's a good chance you're gonna drop that. It's real hard to pick things up with these. Alright, so get you a good set of tweezers. Make your life easier. Eyepieces. Let me show you all what I use for eyepieces. I wear glasses and contacts, and I got these from Walmart. I order them, but they clip onto your glasses, and you can find these on eBay, but a lot of them are the vintage ones, and you're going to pay a lot for them. I got 2 of these for $10, and you can just see the magnification. I mean, That's pretty good. And let me show you the other one. It's on my glasses, so you can see how they fit on there. Like I said, you get 2 for $10. Go to Walmart.com and look up iLoops, and you'll find these. Inexpensive, but work really, really well. And if you don't wear glasses, you can use like safety glasses. That'll work. All right. Next up, I have some iLoops I use. Let me get my tweezers out of the way here. Oh, well, almost out of the way. Some iLoops. These I got, I think, at Harbor Freight. And you know, you just put them up to your eye. They'll stay in your eye. You squint down on them, they'll stay. These are pretty good about that. You know, if you can, you can also hold it in one hand. But these work pretty good. I think these start all the way down to 7, and they go all the way up. I think 10 is the highest. That's a 5. I don't think I even have the 10. I think I used it for something else. Yeah. So these work pretty good. Like I said, if you're getting started out, that works pretty good. Now let me show you what else I use. So this is a eyepiece too, and it's on a Bergeon headband. And what you do is when you put this on, it covers up, it holds it instead of your eye doing it. This band holds it. So this one's pretty strong. This is a 14 magnification. I think it's pretty powerful. And you have something like this is good for looking at pivots. When you're looking at pivots on a watch, you want to have good magnification because you really got to get in there and look. Or if you're putting a watch together and you're not sure, that's a good thing to have. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you. Give me just a second and I'll show you something. Okay. This is not something that you would want to have. You don't need to have start now. You can get one, but you're probably never going to use it. This is a balancing tool. And each one of these balancing tools are different. They have a hole right here, and that's for your balance staff. And what you would do is you'd put your balance staff in there, and you just barely put it together. You can see the holes there, so you can see, you know, when the ends are in there. And then you would have this, put this up against your wheel, tighten it down, and then you would correct your balance wheel. If it was bent, you have a tool and you can manipulate it each way, and this way here you know it was straight as you know when it was straight. So that's what this tool does. Each side has a different hole size. This side is smaller and this side is larger. So I think, yeah, this tool comes off and you just put it up here. So that is a balancing tool. And I have another one here I'll show you if I can. I have these hanging up so they're not in my way, but I meant to take them down so I could show you all these. This is a same type of tool, and I like the pattern on this one. And this one here is probably good for like 12 or 16 sizes watches, 12 to 16. This one here is good for probably 18 and larger. But there you can see the tool right there. You can see it, same thing. This one's a little more tricky because you have to get the pivots aligned and then you have to close in on it, which for me is harder versus this one here where you just you squeeze it, you know, a lot easier. And probably easier to break the pivots that way too, but it does work out very well that way. Next up, I'm going to show y'all screwdrivers. If you watch my videos, y'all know how much I preach about screwdrivers. I'm not I'm not sponsored by anybody, or I'm not paid to tell you anything for advertisement, nothing like that. Disclaimer wise, but these are the best. When it comes to screwdrivers or any type of Bergeron products, your A1. They are expensive. Bergeron products are expensive, but you pay for quality and long lasting. Like I said, I'm not paid by them to promote no products. It's just my opinion. These I got for $46, and they are well worth the money. I mean, the tips on these are just terrific. They can take a beating, and you can replace these tips. You don't have to buy a whole new screwdriver, and they're very easy to come across, easy to buy. I think they're like $7 a piece. So, and it's $7 for the tip, and I think the whole screwdriver, if you had to buy the whole screwdriver, is like $20, like 20 a piece. So when you get 5 of them like this, it's a good deal. And these 5 right here will do a whole watch. They will take a whole watch apart, pocket watch. These 5 is all you need. You can do the balance. You can do the small screws on the balance assembly. That yellow one will take off the little tiny screws, all the way to the big one that will undo the case screws, and so forth. So get you a set of good screwdrivers. Don't spend your money on these cheap Chinese lab, whatever you call them. These, okay? I bought 2 sets of these, and they're not worth it. Look at this. I'll show you. Look at the quality. Look at that. That's from taking a grinder to it, because they just don't sharpen. The tips get so fat, they don't want to fit. I mean, it's terrible. Now, I use them for pry tools now. They're just not, it's not worth. This is probably the only one I think that's made it. But they're not good for watches. It might be good for a gun or something, taking apart, sights or something like that, or some other projects. But as far as watches goes, in my opinion, they're not worth buying. If you want to try this hobby out, that's fine. But after that, if you like it, try to get some good screwdrivers. It really you'll be much happier. Next, I got some files, and I got a lot of these, and they get smaller. This one's kind of big. These are kind of big. I'm showing you kind of big, but I do have some small ones in here. And these are good for a whole bunch of things. Hands. If you want to get, a hand don't fit, you want to do a make a fit, something of that sort. Those are good to have. Let me show you what else I use. This is an auto oiler. One of my videos I was talking about this. It's got Bergeron 9010 oil in it. So what you do is this tip right here, as you can see, when you use it, it puts out a small drop of oil. Let me see if you see that drop of oil right there. right there. A little drop. There it goes. So this puts out exactly what you need to oil your jewels and pivots. And there's a throttle right here, what we call it, this screw, and you can turn this. And what that does is that limits how much this goes up, how much that needle goes up, and how much comes out. So I have mine halfway. It's not fully open, it's at the half. And this is a very good tool. I paid $28 for this. It's an off-brand. It's not Bergeron. It's a off-brand. It took about a week and a half to get here because it came overseas. But let me tell you, it's worth the money. That's a good tool. You'll save yourself a lot of money using oils. Oils are expensive, and using the right amount means money in your pocket. Cleaning solutions. Everybody's got their own type of solution that they probably use. There are solutions out there that are just for cleaning watches. They're very expensive. You have to buy it by the gallons, and I am not going to spend $60 on watch cleaning soap. So this is alcohol, ibuprofen, I can't ever say the word, but anyways, y'all know what it is. This stuff here I think is just about as good as cleaning solutions as you can get. You have to watch it when you're doing your movement is fine. That's not the problem. The problem is you don't want to drop your balance in there and leave it in there for a long period of time because of the shellac they used back in the days for your jewels that holds the jewel on the pivot. It's possible they can eat it away, and your jewel, like the roller jewel or the impulse jewels, on the pallet fork, it can eat that shellac. So you have to be just dunk it for just a few seconds, give it a shake, and that's good. This is my spare parts. There's some hands in there. I just pick movements up. This is when I first started. I was on eBay and I bought a bunch of movements to practice on, and there were Elgins, Walthin, and they all had hands, and I just collected them all. And this has been pretty cool because I've used a lot of these hands on different watches, and that blue is just so cool. I love the blue. And let's see, well, what else do I got? Well, I got my table itself, and then I got the time grapher. This is my latest purchase. I enjoy it. This has just been a great tool as far as getting in the hobby. Keeping your watches regulated is pretty cool. One minute they're good, and the next minute you put it on there and you're like, God, what just happened? So it's all right. Oh, don't forget the mainsprings winders. This is great. This is a great tool. I recently purchased this not too long ago. Mainspring winders. These will save you a lot of money. A lot of money. If you have to go to the jeweler and have him put in a mainspring, he's probably going to charge you $100. This right here, you can do it for the price of the mainspring. This is made for a pocket watch. I would say probably 18 down to 12 size. Maybe 6. I'm not sure. Maybe. But this is a good tool. Like I said, this is for pocket watches. It won't do a wristwatch. You can buy winders out there for wristwatches. I don't work on wristwatches. I'm just a pocket watch person. So this is a great tool to have. Well worth the money. $60. And it's a good old one too. Some of the newer ones I got these days, they don't hold up. You get some of these old products like this. This is when stuff was made to last, not made to go a month and it breaks. Okay, next up I have this little guy. And what this does, I'll get the other half to it. Okay, what this does is when you get your mainspring back in the barrel and you put this lid on, you put it in this tool here, like so. And what it does is that it keeps that lid on straight. You press this down and it puts even pressure all along the top of that lid, so that you don't bend it. You don't put no stresses in it. So, like I said, this is a cheap, inexpensive tool. I think I paid like $7 for it, and it's not high quality at all. This is just a regular tool, and works great. I use this every time. Never have a problem with it. Great tool to use. All right, y'all. So that's just a quick look around the bench, and I'll scan around the bench, and y'all can see all the stuff I have, all the stuff I use. Oh, let's see what's over here. These are for taking off the hands, my hand removers. I want to get another set that are longer, or I might add to these, one or two. I might add to them. There's some Mobius 8000 oil right there. Let's see, probes. I got some of these tools. These tools we totally don't use them what they're for, but these are good for. You can pry off train bridge. You can, if you gotta pry something up a little bit, it's got a nice, real low edge on it, and it's not sharp, so don't scratch anything. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I've used it in a while. And then hand tools. You gotta have these. Put your hands on. These are not a good set at all. These are cheap. Matter of fact, when I first got these, I lost one of these because it came unglued. But this seems like brass. I don't know if it's brass or not. It seems like it, and it's plastic. So why they would do that, I don't know. But these work good. These actually do work pretty good. I've had pretty good luck with these. The quality's not good, but they do seem to work. And you can see on my tweezers, I keep them in one of those movements for your tools, rotates. And my little plastic tub back there, that's what I put my parts in. That's my washer. And I have some old tools that I use that y'all don't see. This one here is good for prying up on, it's flat. This is good for if I want to hold something down, like a movement, if I want to hold it down while I'm working on it, or adjust pivots, or to get underneath the balance staff and give a little wiggle. move it up. That tool works great for that. Somebody was throwing all these tools out, and I picked them up. And like I said, I got some swabs over there in case I need them. Oilers. Let me grab these real quick. Let me explain y'all something about these oilers. These oilers are not too bad. If you just starting out, you want to get some oilers, but you still got to buy the oil. And each one of these, the difference in the color is how thick the end of it is. Each end is different. This is a pretty thick end, so you might use this for a clock, not so much a watch, because that's a lot of oil. You would never want to put that much oil on a watch. So this is not one that you would use. You would use probably the red, blue, and the yellow. You want the small ones. You don't want to use these big ones. That's way too much oil. That much oil right there would stop your watch over a period of time. Because what happens is you get too much oil on there, and then it gets down to places it's not supposed to go, and you get dust and whatever, and your watch will either run slow or stop. Let me show you all this real quick. Got just a few minutes. This is another type of remover for your hands. It's a squeeze type. You squeeze it, and the prongs go up, and the plastic goes down. So that's to control. These work pretty good. But what the problem is you see how thick the bottom is. So it's hard to get the second sand because this sits too high. So it's good for regular hands. I mean, it'll grab regular hands, but the seconds you'll have to use something else because this doesn't get it. But it is a very good tool. It's worth having. Let's see how much I've got. A few minutes here. Let me see. Let me show you what that I use. Okay, I use some of these that I got from watches, pocket watches. And what I use these for is I have to let the mainspring down on my watches. So I use one of these and I stick it in the watch. And then I put it just between my fingers, and by letting off the click, I can control it in my hands, because that's a pretty big size end piece. And a lot of these squares, they fit just about every watch. Some are just a little bit smaller, just a little bit larger one. I have a smaller one. And mostly all your 18 sizes will take this one here. And it's got that nice groove right there. So you put that between your fingers, and you just slowly let the mainspring go through your fingers. So that's a very good tool to have. That's a good thing to keep. Here's a smaller one. This one's pretty good too. I haven't had a chance to use this one, but shoot, you never know. It can happen. Alright, y'all. Well, I don't want to get this video too long. We're almost at the 30 minutes. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. If you haven't do so, please do. Got plenty of video to come. And yeah, just give y'all a little view around the bench. Y'all watched the video, so now you get to see what I'm working with. Alright, y'all. I appreciate everybody.